his second championship belt. So now he's got the WBC and the WBA belt. Division. What moments of joy for him, what moments of release. America was asking big questions about the talents of Tyson, and Tyson really could not have answered them in a more emphatic manner than he has done in the ring at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas tonight. Relief.
On the 7th of September 1996, Mike Tyson fought Bruce Sheldon in the WBA Heavyweight Championship. It was an easy fight for Tyson, knocking his opponent out in the first round. It was one of the shortest heavyweight championship fights in boxing history, lasting 1 minute and 49 seconds. Although Sheldon was able to get up several times, the referee ended up stopping the fight, and Tyson won by technical knockout. A guest of honor at the fight that night was Tupac Shakur, who attended the fight with Suge Knight, the head of Death Row Records. They had ringside seats and saw Tyson's victory. Tupac was ecstatic that his friend won. Speaking to Power 106, Tyson explained how he saw Tupac at the Magic Johnson party. He was with a huge crowd and they wouldn't let him in. So Tyson went around to the back and let them in through that way. He didn't know much about him at the time, but he saw him grab the mic and start freestyling. The crowd went wild, he said. The following year in 1992, Tupac wrote to Tyson while he was in prison serving a 6-year sentence. He later came to visit him. Tyson remembered him from the party and they remained friends and continued to stay in touch. Tyson ended up serving 3 years. Just as he was released, Tupac ended up serving time himself. They both spoke about how they would make their comeback when they got out. The Tyson fight ended around 8 p.m. At this time, footage of Tupac is caught on surveillance. As the crowd exits the MGM Grand, it shows him getting into an altercation with Orlando Anderson, as well as Suge and a group of other guys fighting, all of whom were believed to be gang members. Tyson said he had intended to join Suge and Park that evening to celebrate his win. He rushed home first to see his baby daughter and ended up falling asleep. Later that night, Tupac was shot at 11:15 p.m. near the Vegas Strip. Tyson got the news while he was at home in bed. Speaking of the moment in an interview with This Is 50, Tyson said, "It was not a good night. It started off good. I could never put my finger on it. It was a really bad night. All 4 of us were having an awesome time, and only 3 of us came back."
When it comes to athletes and rappers and being best friends, I think one of the most iconic friendship was the one between you and Tupac. What was your last memory with Pac?
And Pac came to your fight.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. You got tissue?
He was really happy after the fight.
Mm-hmm.
He came to the press conference with me and we were just talking about it. And then I went home and then he left.
Mm-hmm. Where were you at, Mike, when you found out? Because I know exactly where.
I was home sleeping.
And somebody called you? And at the time he was shot. Did you go down and get a chance to see Pac at the hospital?
Let me see him.
There's an iconic picture and just video of where you still got your gloves on, and there's the hug, there's the embrace, and just sitting here and, knowing Pac then and knowing you now, there had to be a mutual respect because even this many years on, removed, you still have an emotion for that man. What did Pac mean to Mike Tyson?
Man, it was just, it's very difficult to talk about. It was just a young kid that really wanted to be great, and it happened.
Describing Tupac's personality, he said he was passionate and emotional about everything he did. He didn't really have a concept of money or anything. He'll give you money, he'll talk about money, but that wasn't his true concept. He had a socialist ideology. He was a passionate, open-hearted guy. If he was mad at you, he was mad and never stopped. If he loved you and wouldn't stop loving you. He was articulate and intelligent.
I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? $32 million, and this person has nothing, and you can sleep, you can still go to the movies about, and then these are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. Millionaires. How can they be humanitarians by the fact that they millionaires and there's so many poor people shows how unhumane they are? You know what I'm saying? And that bugs me. Not saying that when I'm never gonna be rich and I'm never, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's a struggle and I think everybody deserves it. And I think there's a way to pay these people. I think there is a way. It just takes to be revolutionary.
Talking about Tupac's death is still hard for Tyson. Even 20 plus years after, he still gets choked up when discussing it. In a recent live stream with Fat Joe, Mike Tyson explained his theory on Tupac's murder, saying he believes it was planned in advance. I never said this, but all that stuff was planned in advance, he said. I believe the fight was an opportunity for it to happen.
I just believe that was the opportunity, that was the perfect opportunity for something like that to happen.
Because everybody from all over would meet up in the same place.
Everybody knew everybody was going to be there. And the people that wasn't there because they knew who was going to be there. And we know everybody who wasn't there.
Yeah, man, that was sad, man, for just life, man. And then as I got older and I realized the Tupac story and how he came from the Black Panthers and his mother and his stepfather, and then I realized his music, why he has such a powerful message in his music.
You know, Tupac, this is the deal with Tupac, and this is just the real. Tupac was just a force. He was just an uncontrolled force, and that was the problem, you know? He was powerful, and he just, no one can control him.
Yeah, he wouldn't let nobody control him. He wouldn't let nobody control him. Rest in peace, Pac.
Tupac represented the West Coast, and other rappers such as Biggie Smalls represented the East. However, Tupac was actually born in Manhattan, New York, and spent a lot of his childhood living in East Harlem. Upon moving to Oakland, his rap career really took off. The East Coast, West Coast beef involved real gangs, and gangster rap began taking off back then. Death Row Records was gang affiliated, so when he signed with Suge, Tupac got caught up in that world, and his professional career got mixed up in it. Tyson's fight was a must-see event. Back then, there would be a great deal of hype leading up to a boxing match, especially if it involved Mike Tyson. People would pay hundreds of dollars to see the fight, spend money on flights, tickets, and hotels, only for the fight to last a couple of minutes. But that was all part of the fun. It was probably well known that Tupac and Suge would be there that night, especially with people knowing Tupac and Tyson were friends. Like Tyson said, everybody knew everybody was going to be there. And the people that weren't there because they knew who was going to be there. So this logic isn't far-fetched, considering such groups are calculated and organised when plotting to take someone out. According to reports, the suspects involved just happened to hear a group of fans at the traffic lights call out to Tupac, and that's how they were able to find him. It's great to see Mike Tyson in a much better place now that he has matured. He seems to be at peace with himself and the direction his life has taken. He has always been known as Iron Mike, but he has softened and mellowed over the years. He referred to himself as a pussycat in the interview. He is truly a sensitive soul. He has let go of a lot of grudges he had over the years too, and you can see a weight has been lifted off him. It's a shame, because had he lived and given a chance to mature too, we probably would have been saying the same thing about Tupac. He would have been in his 50s now, like Mike. Do you think Mike Tyson is right, or was the person who killed Tupac simply an opportunist? And do you think Tyson felt guilty that Pac was attending his fight that night? Thanks for watching. Rate, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to click the bell for more.